Today's gonna be a map walkthrough of rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. This is meant to be a video that you watch before you go in the canyon, start your run, or even when you're running the canyon and you're listening to it maybe on a podcast to remind you of the things and waypoints along the route, and know that I'm there with you. This is gonna save you a lot of headaches, a lot of fatigue, and a lot of crabby moments because you're gonna know where everything is. Let's get into it. I use Onyx Maps for this. Love Onyx. I am not sponsored by them. Would love to be, but that's what I use. So basically, I downloaded the GPX file from All Trails and I imported it into my Onyx Maps here. So the one thing that you need to know about rim to rim to rim is that there's two different trails that you can take to run this, okay? So you can either start here, and this is the Bright Angel Trailhead. So whenever anybody says Bright Angel Trailhead, that's what they mean. It's right here. The nice thing about Bright Angel Trailhead is it's basically right next to where you can park. You can park all of this stuff here, and then you can get on the trail. The downside with it is that it's longer than the South Kaibab trail, and yeah, that just kind of sucks, right? Another pro with it is that there's more water sources along it. Now, I did not take Bright Angel. I went South Kaibab, or Kaibab, however you want to say it, and that requires you to come here and start at the trailhead. Now, the problem with that is that there is no parking at the South Kaibab trailhead, and you can't drive in. Okay. My plan was to either park at this picnic area, or there's an overlook right here. And maybe I can put this into 3D. Heck yeah, that looks pretty sweet. There's an overlook right here that you can park at. Okay. So looks like that. You can park there, and then you can run 0.7 to start the trailhead. Now, it has been said that you might be able to get dropped off at the right here at the start of the trailhead because it's early enough, especially when you're starting at 4, 3 o'clock, stuff like that. There might be a sign right in here saying you can't do that or you can't park. Just saying. So anyway, let's say that you start the trailhead, okay, so now you start the run. Okay, so the thing with the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim is obviously the first part of this is super chill. Okay, now I started with my girlfriend at about 10 to 4. And our plan was I was going to take her, I didn't want to take her all the way down to the river because that's about 5,000 square feet. I just wanted to take her to a one point on the trail, and I'll show you where that was if somebody's going to be running with you and they don't want to do the whole thing. So the first part here, there's a bunch of switchbacks right here. I mean, this is switchback, pretty good ones, pretty steep. I never felt anywhere on this trail like I was going to fall off. So, I mean, the people that kind of over dramatize that, I think they're kind of screwing with you. So you're gonna then parallel here, and you're gonna start running down this big ridge here. Okay, now this is great. I mean, the sun, as you start getting down into here, the sun's gonna start to come up, or at least it's gonna start to gray up a little bit. I think it started to gray up maybe around Skeleton Point here. This was really, really cool. This is another place where you start to really see the descent as you go down, because you can look down, and as it's starting to gray up with light, you can see all of these switchbacks. This is a really cool place too when you're coming back up to look down and take a picture. We saw some deer here. They were right on the cliff. Be aware of that, I guess. Actually, when my girlfriend was hiking back up this, she actually found a mountain goat was coming down. So, you know, kind of be aware of that stuff. Okay, so you come down here and weave through. All of this is quite, you know, it's not, this part's steep. This part is pretty cruisy. The one thing with this huge descent, I mean, look at the descent that you're going to be making right here. It is a pretty big descent down to the river. Okay, there's one thing that I want to say. It's a pretty large descent, and all the advice that I got was to save your legs on this. So I use my trekking poles, and I was kind of using them as crutches to get over those big logs in the middle of the road, in the middle of the trail rather, and that really helped me, I think, throughout this run. Okay. So anyway, so you're going to get down into there. Now right here is called the tip-off point. Now this is probably, as you're running, your first good picture opportunity, I would say, because it's light enough. You can kind of see the sunrise. At least I was doing it in May. So you can kind of see the sunrise. I left my girlfriend here. So that was about 4.5 miles in and like 3,400 feet of vert. And I went back down to the river. Okay. So at that point, I remember taking a video at about right right into here, and I had been descending for about an hour and a half. So it takes a bit to get down there. Now, I only started with 0.5 liters of water, and that was fine because it was, even though it was hot, I literally took my shirt off already after those first switchbacks that I showed you way up top. Basically took my shirt off there and had it all the way off until I'll tell you when. But yeah, so anyway, so then you're going to come down into here, and you have a tunnel to go through here, and then the big suspension bridge, which is pretty cool. And your first actual water is going to be right here. At least that's where it was for me. Now, I didn't have this marked on my map at all. I didn't even know it was there. So I actually took the time to fill up there, crush a half liter, like camel up, and then fill up, I think, a liter as well. So I crossed the river, again, right here. And then right here is kind of a work camp. At least they were doing a working, kind of looked like they were building something here. Helicopters were coming in and out all day. And now you're going to start to get into the box, which is basically 7 miles of hell. I mean, not that bad, but I mean, this is down here is going to be the hottest part of the entire trail for you. So this, kind of zoom out here, you can see the box. It's like this whole way through the canyon. It looks long. The good thing though is that the box is quite gradual. So as you're looking right now, if I can bring this up. So as you descend, you get down to the river, you're here, and then you have this real nice, easy grade up to then really getting to the top of the North Rim. So this is really great on the way back, and I'll talk about that in a bit here. But these 7 miles here, slightly uphill, not too bad. I only had to I could basically run this whole thing, which was great. And it was pretty quick. Now, your next opportunity basically to get water after the river is going to be down here at the, what the heck is it called? Phantom Ranch. Okay, so basically you're going to be paralleling this river here, Bright Angel Creek. There's going to be people camped along all this stuff here, and then there's going to be people coming down from Bright Angel as well. So this is the Bright Angel campground. So you can get water from the river, you can get water from the Phantom Ranch. I think the faucet's there. I'm not sure. I didn't get any. I just got some at the spot that I told you right when I got off of the bridge. So now you're going to be going through the box. Now, the whole time through the box, you're paralleling the river here, okay? And that's great. And so if you need water, you can obviously get it at the water. But the problem is that then you start gradually leaving the river and start kind of, about right here, is you start gradually leaving the river, and now you start getting higher then, and everything to get down into the river, if you really need water, is going to be a big pain in the butt. And you're going to have to go through cactus. I got stung. So I would recommend getting water at the river before you leave it. So early on, like early in those 7 miles, get water if you need it. There was a stream that was off of the mountain along the right here somewhere. I don't know if that's seasonal and how long that would go. So just be aware. It looks like from this GPX route, actually, they might have had to go get water over here or something. I don't know what it is. Because the trail, parallels here. This is where I tried to get water, and then I found some around here or something like that. I wonder what this says. Reuben Falls Trail. No. Okay, so you continue on through the box. There's really nothing much to talk about with that. Your water from after Phantom Ranch is the river, and then pretty much Cottonwood Campground. Now, when I ran, that's your most reliable water. Now, when I ran, Cottonwood was closed. The water was shut off. So I had to get water from that one stream, and then maybe it was this one here, Wall Creek. Yeah, it was a little bit before Cottonwood, so that was fine. So I came up through Cottonwood now, and your next water source and your last water source, this one's very, very critical, is going to be called Manzanita. So Manzanita is right in here somewhere. Yeah. Now this is where you're going to want to camel up and bring more than 1 liter of water for the top. I only brought 1 liter of water out of here. I cameled up, and then I brought 1 liter of water, which was stupid. I should have brought at least 1.5 liters. I would have been totally fine with that, but something happened, and I'll kind of tell you what happened in a second here, but bring more than 1 liter. Because right at this point here is when it starts, like you're kind of on this cruisy, short graded trail for a bit from Manzanita, but then look, right here's Manzanita. Now it starts to get red, and it starts to get steep. And even though I was like, I only have a few miles to the top. Well, it gets hotter at this time, and it's a lot steeper. So it doesn't look steep from here, and it doesn't even look long, which blows my mind. But this stretch from Manzanita to the top of North Rim was tough. I know a girl that she actually got 2 miles from here and was like, no, I'm going to go back. So she didn't even complete that. So this is just to let you know. So this is steep here. This gets probably the closest to the edge that you're going to get right here. Really cool views. Just be careful. And looks like it says there's a water source here, but there was no water. Well, okay, maybe there was. So eventually you're going to cross a bridge, and then there might have been a water source like kind of off trail. I just didn't even think about getting it. Now, I was cruising fine up here until I was probably about into here somewhere, and I had to get stopped by a trail crew because they were rolling rocks down the wall. And I had to wait there in the sun for about 25 minutes. So that really kind of chapped my ass and got me dehydrated a lot faster. Not good. So that probably won't happen to you when you're there, but yeah, that sucked. Okay, so now you're continuing your slow ascent up the North Rim. These switchbacks seemed like there was a ton of them. It was steep. I'll tell you, it was steep. Get up to here, and finally, you're going to get to the North Rim. Now, the great thing about the North Rim is right at the North Rim, there is a water spout, right where it basically says North Rim. You can fill up there. This was the low point for me in the trail just because I was not feeling really well after being dehydrated for that long. But good place to maybe jam some lunch quick, camel up on water, and then get back moving, because the longer you stay up here, the hotter the day is going to get. And you still have to go back through the box again, and that was what was on my mind. That's why I only took about 10 minutes at the top here or so. Okay, so now you just repeat everything that I said. So the descent down from North Rim, really, really good, really great. Again, your next water is not going to be until you get to Manzanita right here. So you have a giant descent, you get to Manzanita, and then you start basically going through the box. Now, this way through the box is really nice because now you have this giant gradual descent. And I thought this was great. Try to get this into here. So yeah, so now you're on this gradual little descent all the way down till we get back past Phantom Ranch and to the river for your last ascent. Okay. And I thought it was great. I was lucky it started to cloud up for me, so that was great. And working through the box wasn't too bad. Also, sometimes the sun will get low enough below these big kind of canyons here that you'll be in the shade as well. So you work your way through the box again, pretty easy for the most part. And now you come into Phantom Ranch. And so the thing about Phantom Ranch is that the hours are always changing, but from my understanding, it's usually open from 8 to 4, but then other people were saying that it was open from 8 to 6. Now I got there at about 3:30, and I got to enjoy literally the thing that made my entire run, which was lemonade. So it's just a quick, you go basically almost right through it, but you'll see the sign for the Phantom Ranch amphitheater. You just go there, or not amphitheater, the Phantom Ranch, what is it called? Like canteen. So you're gonna go there, you're gonna order at the window. It's $6 for a lemonade at the time of making this, and then it's a $1 fill up after that. Highly, highly recommend crushing 2 of those lemonades. Because after I did that, I ran through Phantom Ranch and I did not essentially stop running until, oh, by the way, you can get water. I got water there. And then I also got more water here. But I basically didn't stop running almost the whole ascent up the South Rim. I felt so good from that cold lemonade. So I got water here. So I drank a bunch of lemonade at Phantom Ranch. I think I came back out with a liter, and then I went here and I got even more water. And I basically, for this ascent up, because I learned from the North Rim, I took 1.5 liters. Now I can seem to get by with not as much water as other people can. Maybe because I'm using a lot of electrolytes, but that's all I took up here, and I'll tell you what happened with that in a second. So you cross the bridge again. Okay, now you're back up on your ascent, and this should all feel really familiar to you, and it's like you're going back in time, which is really cool. Kind of all the memories from the morning come back, like when I left my girlfriend. That was kind of cool. So now, and you're also seeing all of this in the light for the first time, which is awesome, because now you can really see the magnitude of everything that you just descended. I really highly recommend turning around at a lot of these points and looking back through the canyon. I think it was really, really neat to do that. So you start your ascent up, and there'll probably be people hanging around Skeleton Point. So if you're like out of water, if you're really struggling, Skeleton Point, there'll probably be people hanging out. There'll probably be people at Cedar Ridge here, and then Uwa Point. Now at Cedar Ridge, I met a couple, and the female asked if I could spare any water for her boyfriend because they went all the way down to the river, 5,000 feet, and we're out of water. So, and I gave them the rest of my water. So then I was out of water for this entire ascent up here, essentially. I gave them water and a salt pill. And I presume they made it because there was other people coming down. And I said, hey, there's some people just kind of struggling. And they only really, like, they only had like a mile and a half left. Like, it wasn't that long left. But, you know, they were a little scared, which is probably good. So they won't do something like that again. But those other people said they were going to give them hook them up with more water, which was great. So anyway, at that point now, you're on the home stretch. You got these switchbacks back here, and then you finish your rim to rim journey. And it's pretty epic. I mean, look at everything you just covered. I mean, if we did a flyover here, it's an epic run. It's a really, really epic run. And when people are hiking down there and they're asking you where you came from and you said rim to rim to rim, sounds pretty cool in my opinion. So hope that helps you and hope you crush rim to rim to rim yourself. Please leave a comment below if you like videos like this and how your rim to rim to rim run goes or when you're going to do it. See you for the next video.